Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to the Bellicose Nation. Well, here we go again. Another charge is made that America really is a unique racist place, at least when it comes to so many white people and how they treat their first black president. Yep. Oprah Winfrey made these claims again recently on a BBC interview where she says that President Obama has been disrespected by Americans and the press simply because he is African American. And of course, the only evidence she offers is the infamous outburst during a State of the Union address where the words "you lie" were uttered. And even here she misquotes it as to say "you are a liar," which is a little bit different than to say "you lie" about one thing. Imagine that. She actually claims that the press is unfairly reporting on Obama. And it's like, woman, are you serious? Let's roll this tape.
Has it ever crossed your mind that some of the treatment of Obama and the challenges he's faced and some of the reporting he's received is because he's an African American, and if he wasn't an African American, if he was a white guy, those wouldn't have happened. He wouldn't have been treated in quite the same way. He wouldn't have to deal with quite the same confrontations.
Has it ever crossed my mind? It's crossed my mind probably as many times as it's crossed your mind. Probably it's crossed my mind more times than it's crossed your mind. Just the level of disrespect. When the senator yelled out, "You're a liar." Remember that? Yeah, I think that there's a level of disrespect for the office that occurs. And that occurs in some cases and maybe even many cases because he's African American.
Speaking of disrespect in presidents, one has to wonder if Oprah was even awake during 6 of the 8 years of the Bush presidency. Even on Inauguration Day, on that solemn changing of the guard between Barack Obama and George Bush. I couldn't believe my ears when I heard the crowd chanting, "Na, na, 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 hey, hey, goodbye." I mean, listen to this.
The introduction is thus moments away.
Don't do this.
That's a surprise. We are hearing some booing, and that is a surprise.
Bad form here.
That is not what I expected.
Announcements will be.
No, Mrs. Winfrey, that is what presidential disrespect looks like. And I never heard a peep out of you when that took place. Not one. Were you around when the Clintons were in office? I don't think President Clinton and his wife could have endured any more public ridicule. Most of it they brought on themselves, but still, disrespect was just unreal at that time era too. This idea that Barack Obama is somehow being disrespected is ridiculous, especially you're trying to tie race to it. And here we go again with this ringing of that tired old bell, which frankly I'm getting tired of hearing. And no, I don't want to hear anyone say that Oprah is just defending her people or her race. That's bull. She lives in one of the least bigoted countries in the world, and when she makes these indictments against us, she isn't helping her people. She is simply adding to the acrimony between races, as she dangles this unattainable goal of perfection out there. This perfection. And when some example somewhere in the country can be found which does not live up to that perfection of a race-free society, the moan and sigh is given again and again, and the dredging up of the Scottsboro Boys or the Emmett Tillman stories, they got to get replayed over and over again. I'll tell you what, Oprah, instead, why don't we talk about today? Why don't we talk about race right now? Like the fact that there are actually tens of thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of acres all across this nation's cities where a white person cannot even travel with any expectation of safety. To even venture into these neighborhoods after sundown is unthinkable, as their white skin would be a magnet of criminality. Conversely, how many such areas in our cities do blacks have to fear for their safety like that? Where are the zones that blacks dare not cross? Where are the gangs of young whites targeting blacks, young and old, for random attacks and mayhem? When it happens, it's very, very rare, and Oprah knows it. Why does Oprah hold the USA and other European places up to standards she dare not hold African nations up to? I mean, holy smokes, those folks over there are more obsessed with tribes and bloodlines and families and race than perhaps any other continent in the world. And their butchery is unrivaled in the modern world. But for Oprah, she is more grieved that a shopkeeper in New Jersey watches a black teen a little more closely than he otherwise would a white grandmother. So Oprah, get over your race-obsessed self. President Obama has actually been handled with kid gloves as far as personal attacks and all that. Why, even Bush's daughters were followed around and hounded and destroyed by the media. No, Obama's opposition is 99% based on his political goals and how it is affecting the country. And when you dismiss all the photoshopped Tea Party signs, you have very little evidence that there is any widespread racial hostility towards this president. Now, rather than driving wedges between groups, Oprah, why don't you take just a pinch of that fortune you have amassed and go into some of these black areas that are so troubled and falling behind? Move in there and get involved. Help make a positive change and quit playing life coach to a bunch of bored white housewives and do something meaningful with yourself. This is the Bellicose Nation.